I'm Intruder Green. You might know me from things like Horseshoe Tavern, Spy Hill Jail, and Clubhouse. Welcome to the Intruder Green Podcast. It is the 19th of October, 2021, and yeah, man, October is just flying by, for me anyways. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, it's weird. Like, it's kind of like my favorite time of year, like I said before on the podcast, because it's like Halloween time, and you know, you got all the leaves turning cool colors and shit, and it looks real pretty outside, and it's starting to get cold, but it's not like too cold yet. Yeah, which is good for me, because, you know, like when you're wearing a mask all the time, it can be pretty warm during the summer. So it's nice to have a little refreshing, you know, fall or autumn, or what do they call it here, fruiting or something, seasonal, coolness going on. Yeah. All right. Also, you know, there's lots of like people change what they're eating and stuff. I just made up a big batch of chili, and it's super spicy and delicious. If you want to see me making chili, you should check out the YouTube channel, because I got some like I think I did a chili episode for Green's Kitchen. Anyway, you can get on there and check that out, and you know, like get on a Patreon or go on a website and buy me a pizza or some shit like that. For my efforts, and then I won't have to cook no more. I just buy some pizza. All right. Yeah. But anyway, how are you guys celebrating Halloween? Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, and I recently discovered that that show, What We Do in the Shadows, which I always knew was a good show, but I never like thought about watching it until recently. So I've been catching up on that, and of course it's great. You know, like cool Halloween stuff. There's also like regular horror movies that are not just funny, but actually like scary and terrifying. And that's always good too. But anyway, yeah, if you got any suggestions of stuff I should be checking out, or like fun things to do during this time of year, you should hit me up on like Twitter or something, or I guess Facebook. I don't know, whatever you guys use. You know, I'm on all that stuff, and I'll probably see it even if I don't like get back to you right away. Sometimes it takes me like a few months or so. But anyway, yeah, hit me up and let me know what. I want to give a shout out to the producers of the podcast. We got Luke Ellis, Rin Sanz, Heather Royston, Gem City Sabrina, Sarah Koenig, Audacity Crash Clothing, Chelsea McNally, Cardboard Boss Colony, and Carlos Hernandez. Thanks as always, you guys, for helping me make this happen. We'll be getting back on the Sticker of the Month Club soon. Yeah, you know, this is actually, we might end up doing 3 episodes this month, because we got a special one this week with KJ Jansesn of Chixdiggit, doing this weird, well, I guess it's not that weird, it's just kind of cool. It's a 30-year anniversary of their band, and also the 30-year anniversary of the Bovine Sex Club, which ain't really that much of a sex club. It's more just a club, and they do like rock and roll shows and stuff. And it's in Toronto, in a real cool place where we've partied a lot. I think we played there. I don't know if we played there. We definitely partied there a lot, but we've always had good times. Seeing some cool bands there, and I think they're doing some special shows and stuff around this 30th anniversary. So we're coming out with this one a little early or whatever. So we're back-to-back weeks. So you guys, you know, I hope you feel extra special about that, because I know I do. All right. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. If you want to get a hold of me, you can call in. At the call-in line is +1 608 535 or you can just go to intrudergreen.com to you know, check out anything else you might want to check out as far as I'm concerned. And you can also, you know, find a band website through there too. You know, just do everything through intrudergreen.com. Maybe we'll make a banking app and you could just give me all your money. Then, yeah. And then this podcast will get real good. All right. I promise. You should trust me. Yeah. So anyway, that's about it. It's short and sweet. I ain't got a whole lot to talk about other than I'm excited for Halloween coming up. It's going to be fun as always. Hopefully people are, you know, wearing masks or whatever you got to do, and not spreading the COVID around too much. Although I heard it's getting quite a bit better than lately, and that's real good. Without further ado, on with the show.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Intruder Green,
an inmate at the Durham Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept charges, press 1.
It's official.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I would love to say this is thanks to Melanie K, yet another edition of Intruder Green interviewing a Canadian, but it's not just any Canadian because we got KJ today. All right. And I'm stoked, dude, because, obviously it's been a while since we've seen each other like it is for kind of like everybody these days. But, I think the first time we met you, which you documented in a great album, was I don't know. I don't think we were even playing a show we were playing a show in town, but like we weren't playing with you. It was just like you were there, right? Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was in San Diego. But before we go on, yes, Melanie K, the Canadian end of Fat Records, set this up. But I should say that I just came from a hockey rink, which is a pretty Canadian thing.
Oh, that's super Canadian.
My 6-year-old son played his first ever hockey game like an hour ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
6 years old playing hockey.
Yeah, you got to start him young here or else. If you wait till 7, then it's too late or something.
That's right. He's like a Jedi. That's the way they work, I think. So did he have to like fight somebody and everything?
Oh yeah, you got a couple of fights and yeah. He only lasted about 5 minutes because he got kicked out for fighting, but he did get a goal in that 5 minutes. So
that's good.
Yeah, I'd never seen that side of him before. So he's a pretty quiet kid, but when he gets out there, he's an animal. So he'll probably be coming to a cell block. Near you. Yeah.
Well, we'll be stoked to see him. Like anytime you get a hockey player in your ring in the joint, you're going to be all right because of the whole fighting stuff. Basically.
Yeah, and they know how to get along. Yeah, they got to be tough, but they know how to get along with others.
Team players.
And they don't take any BS.
That's right.
Yeah, but hey, back to San Diego, we did meet there.
Yeah.
And, we had all heard of you guys. You know how you hear about someone and everyone's like, you guys should be friends or whatever. Or I was getting hey, are you the singer in this band?
Oh yeah,
and yeah,
I think between you and Mikey Erg, you get are the most that must be Blue. But if you were to say like, yes, I am Blue, I would believe you.
He's a way better singer than I am. I don't like it's. I'm actually. I feel bad. For him to be compared to me in any way. So I
anyway,
feel bad
for him too.
Yeah,
not for that, but for other reasons,
Oh well, I don't know all those reasons. I don't see what happens when you guys are all alone together. So, and I don't want to see that. Actually, it's bad enough I have to see what happens in my own band.
That's right. I know that. I believe it to be true. I mean, I don't know that, but I believe it. Definitely. Anybody in a band. It's like, you got to do what you got to do, though,
Some of those tours are long.
They are. They can be very long. And, but honestly, I haven't been on a tour in so long. This pandemic's going longer than any tour I've been on. So, but it's like, that's the way things are. And, but yeah, so that's kind of our history. We met way back when. And I'm pretty sure we had a good time. I don't remember though. You say we met in San Diego. I thought it was in Canada that we met, or we just hung out in Canada later. Maybe, I don't know.
I think the first time we really hung out was maybe in Calgary, or I know we were hanging out in Toronto at the Bovine Sex Club.
Yeah, that's
one
true.
time. But yeah, we like as when you're traveling around, you run into friends, like all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Absolutely.
It's a good little part of our lives, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, and I still got my Chixdiggit sweatshirt. It's like an old school thing. It's like a blue one. That's I don't know. For some reason, I cut the sleeves off of it because I thought it looked cooler, and it does. It's super cool now.
Very
So
cool.
I'm still rocking that. It's weird because people don't expect me to wear blue, and I don't expect it either. But sometimes it happens because you got to represent.
Yeah, why aren't we making green ones? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand either. Everything.
Yeah.
Every band needs some green merch. Yeah, I don't know.
It's all black. It's all black. And we do a blue hoodie and nobody buys them except you. Well,
Yeah.
I think we gave it to you.
That's
But,
true. I didn't buy it either. I mean, I probably wouldn't have bought it even if you did get it to me, but I still would have got one, Oh,
Oh, I know what you're saying. Yep.
yeah, it's sneaky. But yeah. So, but yeah, now that I think about it, so we're talking about, well, we're originally going to do this with, is it Darren, the owner of the Bovine?
Yeah, Daryl, what happened? This, I was excited because this
Daryl,
was, Daryl, who owns the Bovine Sex Club in Toronto. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary. We're celebrating ours-ish. I think it might be 31 for us, maybe. But
Shit.
that doesn't matter. But
that's true.
I think I was excited because he'd never done any kind of online Zoom chat thing before, and so I was excited that he would be here, but I don't think he was able to pull it off. So
yeah. Well, we might do a little like mashup action.
Okay.
I don't know how that would actually work because I feel like we're going to talk about some stuff, and then if I talk about it with him, we might get our facts wrong, and then it'll just be weird, which would actually make for some interesting entertainment. But like whatever. But yeah, so I mean, the Bovine Sex Club. I don't know. Now I want to talk about that, but I should talk to him about that, and I should talk to you about Chixdiggit. But okay. I guess I could talk to you a little bit about like. Considering the fact that you started this band back at around the same time, at least, as the Bovine Sex Club, were you guys like playing in bars right away like that, or not really? Because I mean,
no.
So what? You're 30 years old now. You started this band when you were like 1, I guess. That's how it works. I don't know math too good, but that sounds about right. Yeah. So how did that work?
Well, we weren't really. We were trying really hard to get a show, and we got a show. I guess Fugazi had come through town the month before, and the guy who had promoted the Fugazi, I think they're American, aren't they? And then they had come through town, played a show, and the guy who promoted that show made a bunch of money. So he's like, I'm going to do it again with some local bands, and then we played that. But we had literally I think we'd had our instruments maybe 4 or 5 months.
All right.
And everybody there was like a musician, had like practiced for years. But then we had sold so many of these bloody t-shirts for our band that when the crowd showed up, they were all wearing Chixdiggit shirts.
Oh, that's
Our
amazing.
first show. Yeah, it was all friends and, people who we were all waiters. So it was people who sat in our sections, customers, good customers or whatever, who were kind. And so they showed up, and then they said, okay, well, you guys have to play last. So all these bands are totally shredding, and knowing their stuff. And then we have no fucking clue what to do. And I remember there was it was a community hall, and there was a kitchen there. And I remember just sitting there going, what the fuck are we doing? We should not be doing this. But our friends were all drunk, and they're like, come on, just get up there. And we'd had a few drinks too. And then we ended up having a really good time. And then that was that. But it took us a while to get a club show. And then, we're in the middle of nowhere here. So it's 3 hours north. It would be another town to go to. And Vancouver's 10 hours drive away. So
what's north of you guys?
Edmonton.
Oh, yeah. We've been there once, I think.
Yeah, that's a good town.
I think we done 2 tours where we did, your area. Mm-hmm. But usually we just stick to the East Coast and doing all that stuff. Montreal,
I was talking to
Toronto.
Yeah, friends don't come visit. Like I was talking to a friend in Italy, and she's like, "Oh yeah, like all these people are coming to visit, not bands, but on tour, but people are coming on holiday." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have that problem. Nobody ever flies to Calgary for a holiday." So actually, only one time that happened. It was Mike D. Crack.
Oh yeah,
D. Cracks. Yeah, I had to show.
Was that
around.
when the rest of his band got kicked out and couldn't go on tour?
No,
I think
it was
that
a
happened
different
to
time.
them, right? Okay.
Yeah, he's probably got way more tour stories than all of us put together.
Oh
He's
yeah.
in every band in the world, and
Well, I believe it to be true.
Yeah, it's true.
He's in D Cracks. I know one. All right.
Yeah, that's good. Me too. And the Isotopes, he plays with the Isotopes too.
Oh yeah, they're a tight band. I want to get to know those guys. I never actually met them, but I feel like we would get along because I don't know, they're into sports, I guess.
I think they would take your call.
All right, I will have to find their number. So we got to get into the history here though. So how did yeah, I'm gonna ask you the question that everybody loves to answer, and it's how the hell did Chixdiggit become a band? You guys were in high school or something, right? Mm-hmm. Did you say?
Yeah, just after high school, at the very end of high school.
But you say you had your instruments for only a few months before you started playing. Did you just learn how to play guitar right on the spot? You're I want to be in a band. Figure this out.
No, I was the drummer actually when the band started, and then we were just nobody wanted to sing, so I didn't want to sing and play the drums, and then then I didn't want to just stand there and sing because we had a friend who came in and played drums.
I feel I love it. I love the I don't know what to call it, the gall of bands where they have drummers that are the lead singers. I think that's cool that they can go for it like that, but it's always a little confusing when you're seeing them play live. It's I just don't know what to look at.
You kind of got to get up really close.
Yeah. But it's just weird to have a front man that's stationary, Well,
and I find too, in between songs, if it's a drummer singer, they're kind of twiddling their sticks and they're touching shit and they're not really paying attention to what's going on in front of them. They're not really engaging with the audience because they got all that other stuff to play with,
Yeah, I mean, I would do that.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, but I was a terrible drummer. I was the worst drummer Chixdiggit ever had, so it worked out. So then I got a guitar, and I did a little bit of I don't know if it's illegal, but maybe
that's good
thing.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, I figure this is a safe place to talk about it.
Absolutely. But I'm going to ask you a question about that later too. Anyway, but go on.
Well, okay. But so I went into this pawn shop, and there was a guitar that I wanted there.
Oh yeah.
And it was $600 or something like that.
It must have been nice if it was that expensive at a pawn shop.
Yeah, it was a Les Paul.
Oh yeah. So, those are good.
So the guy says, okay, I talked him down to $600. So I went to go get the money. I came back, and his wife was there, but he wasn't there.
Oh shit!
And she said, "How much did he say it would go for?" And I said, $280.
Oh yeah,
the number that came in my head. So I paid $280 for it.
Oh hell yeah, you did.
So I still live with the guilt of that.
Oh, I wouldn't feel guilty about that at all. I mean, you got it from a pawn shop, for cripers' sakes. I mean, there's a whole lot of shenanigans, I think, that goes around with that whole kind of business. So, just the fact that you're getting in there, I think it's kind of what no holds bars or whatever, anything goes. If you can scam a pawn shop, yeah, I think you're doing all right. I think that's okay. I think that's called for.
I feel way better. Actually, I've been holding on to that guilt for years, so I feel like the truth will set you free, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they might try to call you now and get you arrested or sued or something, but I think the statute of imitations or whatever will protect you from any of that. So yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much. I'm glad
that's my legal expertise speaking right there. All right.
Well, you would know the law, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I fought the law, and it didn't turn out too good for me. But You got to do what you got to do. You got to get through it. It's life.
You said
it. Yeah. So okay. So then you're the guitar player for the band finally, as things should be, as God intended, they might say.
Sure.
And then you're off to the races, I guess, right? Like you got signed to Fat Records the next day, and Fat Mike was like, "Here's $1 million. You're rock stars now."
That's it. That's the story right there.
Yeah, excellent. That was good.
But yeah, there was some stuff. We did get a booking agent, and that helped. And so they.
Oh yeah, there wasn't
started
Melanie
getting shows.
No, she doesn't. Book
no,
shows.
It was a guy from Vancouver called Jay Scott, and he booked like No Means No and DOA and
cool.
kind of thing.
Old
so that was a big
dude,
deal.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and a really great guy, and so he helped us out, and then eventually we made it down to Seattle, and like I said before, had a few drinks, and just went up on stage and were jackasses, and then got signed to Sub Pop.
Yes, and this is a story. I don't know if you're interested in telling that whole deal.
Well, I mean, it's basically that we I don't even know. I don't remember who we were playing with. It might have been the Fastbacks.
Yeah,
and
they were real good.
Oh yeah, I loved them. And but yeah, then it just kind of happened. We were out at a bar. There was like a drag queen show, and it was just the four of us at the bar getting drunk, and we were dancing on the tables, and we didn't realize that after the show, one of the owners of Sub Pop had gone to that same club and recognized us from the show at a different table, like just Yeah. And then we had gotten this offer, and then we had a manager at the time too, and we didn't realize that we had already played with Lagwagon, and Joey from Lagwagon had given Fat Mike our tape.
Oh shit!
And Fat Mike called our manager and said, "Hey, I want to put the record out," but our manager didn't tell us about that, and so he
got
he
fired. Is what happened.
Well, eventually, yes.
Yeah.
And but we ended up signing with Sub Pop, not knowing that Fat Mike was interested. So anyway, but the reason was there was like a signing bonus that came along with the Sub Pop contract that didn't do, so the manager would have gotten a bunch of money on that, I think. Anyway, later on when for our second record, I was talking to Fat Mike, and he said, "How come you didn't sign with us the first time?" And I'm like, "How come you didn't make an offer the first time?"
Yeah.
And then it all kind of came out. So, but we had already fired the guy, so it was all good.
All right. Everything went smooth with Sub Pop though, or I thought there was like some story there.
Well, yeah, I don't think the guy who signed us told the guy, like his partner, at first, and then I think there were some people, and then he kind of bought, like Nirvana had just kind of the Kurt Cobain had died. And then Nirvana started selling like crazy because they had the first Nirvana record, so they had all this money.
Yeah. Sub Pop,
Soundgarden stuff, and
they were like, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird how that worked back then, because like I don't know what, maybe that was in like '91 or something, because we're talking about like almost exactly 30 years ago, right? And then Sub Pop has this big explosion, and then I don't know, I guess 4 years or so after that, Epitaph has the big explosion as far as like independent record labels go. But nobody's talking about Sub Pop these days. I mean, I guess they're still around, but like Epitaph is just kind of like, they're basically like a major label now. And then Sub Pop is like, shit, why didn't we keep Chixdiggit? Because turns out punk rock was the way to go.
I don't think Sub Pop's like, shit, we should have kept Chixdiggit. But you can ask them.
I will.
There was a lot of great people there, a lot of great bands that we really liked. The Fastbacks were there, like we talked about them, and who else? Like Super Suckers, we were fans of.
Oh yeah, they're great.
There's another one I'm missing. But yeah, it was like, we're called Chixdiggit, and we're goofy kids who don't know how to play our instruments, and so I can understand kind of how there was a division among those who liked us and those who didn't.
But I think that kind of fits into the whole grunge scene, right? Like, don't know how to play your instruments. Like, I mean, Kurt Cobain probably knew how to play guitar, but he definitely acted like he didn't a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think he was a pretty good guitar player.
Yeah, I think so too.
But he died. So and then Sub Pop got all this money, and then the guy who signed us, he bought an island. Like he took his part of the Sub Pop thing and he bought an island, and then we were like on this label. Yeah. You know. So anyway, it was good. It was great. We met lots of great people, and I think, you know, we learned sort of how the business works, I think, through that one. So it was a really good experience, and we're proud of it. And, you know, but yeah, now we're on Fat Records, and I think it's where we should have been the whole time.
Yeah, I believe it to be true. I mean, you're definitely, I think Chixdiggit is definitely one of those bands. I mean, maybe just because you guys have been there since, I don't know about the beginning of Fat Records, but definitely like you're one of those, like, I guess I don't know if this sounds insulting, but you're like a legacy band at this point.
Probably.
Yeah, like you just been there since the beginning of Fat, and I don't know. It's one of those things though, but where you keep, every time a new Chixdiggit album comes out, I'm like, all right, that's gonna be a good Fat Records album, and you know.
Thanks.
It's great stuff, and I don't know. It's like, you're just one of those great. You've sort of like, I think of it kind of like, you know, when Fat Mike is like the king of this like kingdom, and then all the bands are like his knights in shining armor or whatever, and like, or like maybe there's some like other bands that are like, you know, not their armor's not quite so shiny, and they're just kind of like, oh, we want to get a medal from the king, but he just doesn't like us that much or something. But I feel like you're one of those knights in shining armor who always wins the jousting match and stuff for Fat Records. So,
all right, well, thanks. You know,
yeah, of course. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. You say you don't. You've done some acoustic work too, just touring around on your own, and what is that because the band just can't tour as much as you want to, or how's that working?
Yeah, it was just like sort of stuff came up, and people were like, Kepi, for instance, was like, hey, let's go on tour. I was like, hey, let's go on tour, you know, and but it's a totally different thing, and it's kind of fun. It's actually really like. You have to kind of figure stuff up as you go along. It's not like a band practices and you can't really change stuff up. You can kind of do whatever you want. So, but yeah, sometimes it's just nice, especially now that, you know, we have kids. It's nice to just go away by yourself, get on an airplane by yourself, and then get into a hotel and check in by yourself and go to sleep, you know, and wake up when you want to. Like, there's like, I'd be lying if I didn't say like the 23 hours of the day that you're not on stage is kind of a big part of it, you know? Yeah, but it's fun to do, and it's weird, and, you know, but it's good to mix things up, I guess, you know? Yeah,
for sure. I believe it to be true. I don't know, for some reason, like, hi, Intruder Maniacs. Are you in a band? The answer is, of course you are. Everybody's in a fucking band these days. Anyway, if you're in a band, congratulations. I'm making the worst financial decision of your life, aside from taking out college loans or something. Yeah. Now, there is a way to lessen the burden of such a financial decision. It's called merchandising. And Super Rad Merch Company is all ready to meet your merchandising needs. You want some t-shirts? Got a tight deadline you need them printed on? And because you booked a tour less than a month out and you didn't get canceled like everybody else's tours did? How about a bunch of weird random trinkets like keychains, medallions, and what about koozies? You know, like everybody likes koozies. Koozies are great because they keep your drink cold and your hand warm, or vice versa, depending on what you're drinking. Super Rad Merch Company can get all these made for you. Super Rad Merch Company is an in-house artist who can help you with your designs of stuff. They're still a small enough company that they pay special attention to you and your special needs, because, you know, everybody's got special needs. Like, you know, you probably mostly. And they even got a web store. That's where the real magic is. You go on tour and you sell your stuff, but chances are you're going to have some left over, or some fans are going to feel like left out because they didn't have enough money to buy something at your show. So they go on to stupidradmerch.com and find stuff from your band on there. They'll take care of all your production and shipping fulfillment needs. So go ahead, go on to Stupid Rad Merch Company's web store, right now and check out all the tight bands that are already on there. They got a bunch of them, like got at the Bomb Pops and like the Bad Cop and stuff. It's all good. All sorts of cool swag. And right now, if you go on there and at checkout, you use the code PRISON, you can get 15% off all of the Stupid Red merch branded apparel at stupidredmerch.com. Go check it out. stupidredmerch.com. Guitar players, I bet you thought you were shit out of luck when it comes to finding your dream guitar or amp. You know, you go on some auction site or something and it's all crap. Yeah. Well, that's because, you know, you got to look in the right place. And the right place is Yeah Man's Vintage and Used Guitars. They got exactly what you're looking for. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't they located in like Switzerland or something? Yeah, man, they are. Bern, Switzerland to be exact. But you know, you can get on the internet and you can go check out their website, yeahmansguitars.com, and you can order stuff on there. So, you know, it don't really matter where the heck you are in the world. You can just get on their website and find all sorts of cool stuff that you're looking for. And you might not even know that you wanted it until you see it on there. And there's a lot of good stuff. If you got something specific you're looking for and need some help finding it, just hit up Yeah Man Guitars on the electronic mail. That's the email. It's like 21st century and you got email and websites. It's like amazing. Some people will call it magic. Some people will call it science. I just call it, I don't know, crazy shit. yeahmansguitars@gmail.com. As far as email goes, it's where you email them. And while you're at it, get your band a tour in Europe and stop by the shop. Michael and the rest of the crew would love to meet you, I'm sure. And you could tell them Green sent you. Yeah Man's Vintage and Used Guitars. I got a weird thing about acoustic punk rock because I feel like a lot of it just doesn't translate well. I think your stuff does, though, because it's not like Ramones core, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes when people try to do that with that kind of sound, it just doesn't work for me. But like, yeah, I don't know. Does that have anything to do with the songwriting? Like, do you think of these songs just kind of as being like, oh, I could totally just play this with a guitar and vocals and it would be great? Or is it, do you kind of like write everything as a band and it just turns out to be also good with just guitar and vocals?
Yeah, I think they're all kind of written just me and a guitar anyway. So,
oh, yeah.
And I think, you write songs too, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and so when something kind of hits you, it's I was talking about it with my wife, and it's kind of like, when it's like falling in love, and you see that person, and you're like, okay, that's the person. I don't know why, but that's the person, and it's the same thing. Yeah. When a song kind of comes to you, it's like, oh, I'm actually in love with that thing. Whatever it is. And I think if something hits you that way, it kind of doesn't matter what style it's played in. It could be a country song, or it could be, like if a song is good, then it translates. And I would say not all of our songs are that good, but I would say some of them, I think do that. So, yeah, that's kind of, they're all written kind of on acoustic guitar now anyway. So.
No, yeah. Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, because a lot of people are doing that because, well, especially with the way things went in the last 2 years, I think people were like, well, it's hard to do the band right now, but I can do solo acoustic stuff. But anyway, to get back into the history here, because that's what we're talking about, 30 years. So, like, do you remember the first time you played the Bovine? Since we're tying these two things together,
I remember like going there a bunch of times, like after a show late at night, and just kind of, because it's one of those places where there's no advertising outside the club, right? There's no sign.
Yeah, that's true. You kind of just walk by and you see like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, I guess I'll check it out. But
I was there a bunch of times, like, really drunk, late at night.
Yeah.
Kind of, and yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
as it turns out.
I don't think we're alone in that. Yeah. But Yeah, but I did play their acoustic the first time, and then the last time we were through Toronto, which was actually about 5 years ago, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, we did kind of 2 nights in a row, and it was awesome. Like, it's like, because it's a small place and they pack them in.
Yeah, I would feel like you guys would almost be too big to play a club that small. But if you do 2 nights in a row, maybe it works out.
Yeah, well, and so when we're planning these, because the capacity was like 40 people, so I was like, well, why don't we hang out for a couple days and then do 3 shows?
Yeah,
and then the capacity went up to like 90 people. And I was like, and then now capacity's up to 120 people, and now we're like, for 3 days, how are we going to do this? And I think there was an announcement that maybe it's going to full capacity. So now three, because we're going to do 3 days, might have been a bad idea. But
so that's what's coming up. He's talking about, like,
yeah, that's what's coming up now is the 3 shows. So, but yeah, it's going to be fun. We've got 2 years of sitting on our hands,
Well, yeah, and so does everybody else. Like, people, I feel like, are going to be stoked. I'm sure people are still nervous about going out in public and being around a bunch of, sweaty assholes who are breathing on each other. But I think, a lot of people are just really want it. So I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And we talked about it a lot because we didn't actually announce this until a couple weeks ago, when it's in like 3 weeks. Yeah. But I was like, well, different parts of the world have different responses to all of this. And I was like, I'm not sure how, like, I was reaching out to friends in Toronto, and they're like, I don't know how comfortable I am going out. Yeah. But it's like reduced capacity. Toronto has like, I think, a 92% vaccine.
Oh, rate. Wow. That's wonderful.
And you have to show a vaccine passport to get in.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, I feel good about that, so, yeah, and I think everybody in the band, we've been able to practice a little bit now, so I think we just need to kind of, just hang out. That's just the whole point of being in a band, is hanging out with your friends, right? So, absolutely. I mean, yeah, and having fun and going on tour and seeing people. I mean, yeah, it's wonderful. So that's what you guys got going on in the future. Do you have any like other plans as far as the band goes? Well, we have like I don't know, I think like 20 some songs that we're going to go into the studio with whenever it's safe to do so. And then we have another 15 we recorded before all this that we were going to do something. So we have to we have some so you basically have like 4 albums ready to go. Yeah, we might have 3 that sounds albums. Like it to me. 3 at least. Come on. Yeah. It's punk rock. But we had to see, I haven't listened to any of it in a long time, so we'll see what's good and we'll throw out the crap and then make, something good. I don't want it to be like 2 songs we really like and then a bunch that we're okay about. I want it to be all songs that we like. You got a B-sides album out yet? No, because actually, if we were to just do B-sides, like songs we didn't record, we'd have about a 40 album backlog of B-sides. You gotta do it. Yeah, I would love to hear that stuff. It'd be great. No, at some point. About that. Well, yeah, at some point. Yeah. I hope to hear that sort of thing. But yeah, all right. Okay. So that's kind of your history with the Bovine. 30 years, and I don't know. I feel like we've hung out with you definitely in Canada, but I don't know if we've ever actually hung out at the Bovine. But it's definitely a great place. People should go check it out. There was like a Fat Records pre-party, I remember. Oh, is that what it was? I was thinking, yeah, and it was like Fat Records 25 years, but it was actually 24 years. Yeah, and we were on that tour for sure. And was it a pre-party or a post-party? Yeah, there was a pre-party or something there, because I was thinking about that. And like maybe Melvin was DJing or something. That's what Melvin. It was. Is there an upstairs to the Bovine? Is that what I'm thinking? Yeah, it was like a tiki bar up there, and that's kind of where we were hanging out. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Okay.
It meant a lot to me, but it clearly didn't mean that much to you.
Oh, you got me there, bud. Obviously. No, I vaguely remember that night, not because it didn't mean much to me, but because I probably had too good of a time and stayed up a little too late and drank a little too much funky juice or whatever. But yeah, that night actually does stick out in my brain a lot. Because it was an amazing time for us. What's it?
Yeah, and you know what's coming back to me too is there was a after party at Daryl's place.
Oh, that was Daryl.
Yeah. And you know who showed up was the prime minister's so that's like our president.
Oh, that's right.
The prime minister's inner circle showed up at Daryl's house. And it was all these politicians that were there, and it was a late night.
I remember that now. Oh, wow, you're bringing it all back.
Sorry. But yeah, that's what happened.
That's okay. I'm glad the politicians didn't know who they were hanging out with too much.
They did, and that's why I like this guy. I mean,
really?
Maybe not as much as I used to like him, but yeah. I was like, yeah, all right. Our prime minister's all right.
Yeah, all right. I guess I've heard a lot of people talk shit about him. But we're talking about Justin Trudeau or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's I don't want to get into politics or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, he was.
Hey, take it from American. You could definitely do worse. You could definitely do much, much worse.
We have had time to pay attention to your politics, and for sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, moving on. It was a great night, and I'm stoked that we got to have that with you guys. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to bring up about Chixdiggit or the bovine. 30 years of great success, in the words of the great Borat. But if not, I got one more question for you.
Okay. Well, yeah, go ahead, shoot.
Crime stories. Do you got any?
Well, it's kind of like, hey, can you tell me a story that happened on tour? And then it'd be like, yeah, but I could tell that story, but it would implicate this person or that person or whatever.
That's the idea. I really want to get somebody arrested because then I'll be famous. This podcast will be famous and used in court. And probably I'll be on TV and I'll be famous.
Okay. Well, hey, the only two times where any members of Chixdiggit have been arrested.
Yeah.
And I don't want to name any names.
It's all right.
Or get myself.
It's funny because people always think that they got to throw somebody under the bus, but I'm like, I don't care. Crime story. You could just make some shit up or whatever.
Yeah. No. Well, this is true. Well, we were in Tijuana after a show.
Oh yeah.
So when we played in San Diego, I'd always say, "Hey, we're going to Tijuana after the show. Who's coming?"
Hell yeah, you are.
And so we ended up going to Tijuana, and one of the guys threw up in a liquor store.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And
just ask Yellow.
It's not that big. It's not that big a deal, right? But they called the police, so we all were really drunk and we ran.
Oh,
so and I know a couple of them got arrested. Oof. And then
in Tijuana.
But Mark and I, who lives in Spain now, he's our usual guitar player.
Okay.
We ran and we started running, and then we found this bar, so we were there for a while, and then found another bar, and then we couldn't find the border. Everybody else had left. We were and we kept walking south.
Oh so, no, that's the wrong way.
So we ended up finding a Holiday Inn. And we had no money, and I was like, "How much is a room?" And it was like $350 or something.
What?
Yeah, and they said, "Well, if you have a business card, it's like $99." So we're like, "Oh, I've got a business card." So I'm going through my wallet, and the band we had played with was called the Dragons. Do you know that band?
No.
Yeah,
Sass Dragons maybe, but no, I don't know the Dragons.
So anyway, I had a business card from the band The Dragons, and it had two names on it. So we each chose a name from the business card, and that's who we were, and we ended up getting a room for $99. And in the morning we woke up and walked outside, and a block away was the border, which the border goes all the way across the top of Mexico, So
yeah.
Ended up spending the night and getting stuck there.
Wow.
But there was a radio DJ who had been with us, and he had gone home with the guys who didn't get arrested. And he woke up with lockjaw.
Oh shit!
I never heard of this before, and yeah, so he actually had to take a week off work until they could cure the lockjaw.
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't deny it. Yeah,
what's that?
I wouldn't deny it. I believe it to be true. You know, fucked up shit can happen in Mexico. I think we actually played in what the fuck? You just were talking about it. What's the town called?
Edmonton?
No, Mexico.
Tijuana.
Tijuana, yeah. I don't know why it just went out of my brain. We played there, and Officer Bradford actually got some broken beer bottle glass kind of like stuck in his leg. And it didn't come out for a few days. But he didn't get no lockjaw, so we're all good. But anyway.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we got arrested there another time. They had taken away, I guess there was a new president in Mexico. Once again, we don't need to talk about politics, but he had said, all the police officers in Tijuana get new guns. So we're all like, oh, okay, great. So they go up to get their guns, and they say, well, you have to turn in your old gun. So they do that, and then they say, before you get your new gun, we've got to test your gun to see if it's been involved in any of these murders, because there's a lot of murders in Tijuana.
It's shady shit you hear about.
None of the cops had guns, and they were super grumpy. And so two of the guys got arrested, and Mark was one of them. Was it Mark? Yeah. And he had, for whatever reason, he had like 120 Canadian dollars with him in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
And Jason, our original drummer, had 60 American dollars.
Oh shit, that's really worth something there.
And they saw the judge ride up on his bike. It was the judge rode up on a BMX bike. And so Jason's fine happened to be 60 American dollars.
Uh-huh.
And this is for open liquor on the street. And Mark's fine was 120 Canadian dollars, which is like, I don't know if the exchange rate is quite the same, but anyway, it's basically give me everything you got. And
it works for me, bud.
Well, you know how it works, right? So, and then he rode off on his BMX bike.
I believe they call that a shakedown.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I don't know what they call it in Mexico. Probably something in Spanish, but in America, that's called a shakedown. All right.
That's not really criminal or anything. I'm sorry, but
well, no, there was some. Obviously, you were like, they said you were breaking the law. I kind of doubt it, to be honest, because like, I don't know, open intoxicants. Who really cares? I have a whole thing because I'm living in Germany these days, and they let you drink out in public here. There's no like open intoxicant laws or nothing. So anytime I go back to the States, I'm like, I think that's a good rule to not have, is the open intoxicants thing. So I'm just gonna walk around this neighborhood with the open booze bottle or beer or whatever, because and to me, I call that like civil disobedience, right? Like that's what you got to do. The people have they have a priority or obligation to like be civilly disobedient. So that's my whole take on that.
No, I'm with you, man. Like, yeah, I think it's ridiculous. And actually, in New York, New York City, one time I saw a cop and I had an open intoxicant, as he put it.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw a cop, so I turned around and started walking away. And he said, "Freeze!"
Oh,
and that scared the shit out of me, actually.
Yeah, because
and then he made me pour it out.
Yeah. Well, that would scare me too, because anytime a cop says freeze, you don't think they're just a guy saying freeze. You think, oh shit, he's probably got a gun on me right now and I can't see.
Yeah.
It, right.
Well, that's, how all Canadians think, right? Is that if there's an American behind us, they probably got a gun pulled.
That is probably true.
I'm just kidding. But yeah,
I'm not. Yeah. Well, it was great talking to you, bud. And I hope that we can actually hang in real life again soon.
I feel the same way. Me too, man. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hell yeah. I hope that these shows that you got coming up go really well. And I think they will, because I know you're worried about the capacity or whatever, but I think it's going to be great. I think people are thirsty for some tight Chixdiggit jams. And I know I am. So
me too.
Looking forward to hearing what you guys got to put out. And just seeing you guys again.
Awesome, Green. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, dude. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, take care, man.
And that's it for the Intruder Green Podcast. I want to thank KJ again for being on it. You can hit me up on all the socials at Intruder Green, or go to intrudergreen.com for all sorts of cool stuff. The Intruder Green call-in line is +1 608 535 9608. Patreon.com/Intruder Green. The Intruder Green Podcast is produced by Colin Bennett. Management by Anka Kramer. Hair and makeup, Genevieve Smith. Set design by Dylan Raymer. Catering, Matthew Hendershot. Lighting, Sleek Lights, Rahway, New Jersey. Our theme song is Particles by Tight Bros. Your superior intellect is no match for our puny weapons.